What's going on, fellas? My name is Dequarius, and thank you for tuning in to my video. Just wanted to give some relationship advice on an area or a subject that I believe will help the next fellow man that may be in this situation. I want to talk about long distance relationships, just because I've been in one before in my past, and just kind of wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that you may be in. If you're talking to someone that you may be interested in and they may be long distance, this is some things that you can be able to kind of help intensify and improve the quality of the relationship, and maybe kind of ask yourself if it's even worth the time moving forward with this relationship long term. Now, I know I was with a girl for about 2.5 years, and then we did go distant in that time frame just because I ended up moving. Now, obviously, there was a lot of things that had already taken place because of the fact we were already in a kind of a slippery slope. So am I going to say that relationship long distance doesn't work? I would say this: the long distance relationships does work depending on the quality of two partners having a great communication. I think that if you have two people that are not really good at communicating well, this can go in whether if it's in long distance or even in close. You're gonna have issues, and so ultimately, funny enough, I've actually have met people who started off in long distance relationships only to manage to end up being great couples. And then the reason why that they were able to do so, from my experience, from what I've evaluated, is because of the fact they had a really good chemistry and good communication. Now, with the fact that everything being digital now, it's very easily now to still kind of have that in-person experience, even though you're not physically there with that individual. And so with technology now, things like that, I think it's a much easier and a better way to actually improve on other areas in the relationship versus than just the physical. Now, I'm a firm believer that communication goes a long way, and fundamentally, if you have a healthy relationship when it comes to communicating with one another, it can definitely thrive no matter what position or circumstances or how far distance you are now. I think the only struggle that it can be is if you're missing that personal touch, or if you're a type of person where touch is one of your love languages. So that can be very hard and difficult for anybody who may have a struggle with it comes to personal touch, intimacy, and things like that. But nonetheless, it can definitely work if you have, again, like I said, a fundamental good communication, and ultimately setting some goal guidelines to make sure that you guys are ultimately meeting up with one another more frequently, or as best as you possibly can. Now, the thing that I think what causes most relationships to fail is because, again, time is distance is so far apart. You guys are not seeing each other enough. That can definitely taint a relationship. But obviously it does, it can work again with the right amount of interaction. But again, if you're not making the time to see one another, it does increases your chances of relationship falling apart because of that long distance. But nonetheless, it's all about, again, fundamentally having an open dialogue. I think one of the greatest benefits of being able to be with a person in a long distance is being able to have a great level of communicating with one another, getting a chance to know each other from, to intellect standpoint, and just getting to build that good, strong friendship foundation, like I talked about in my other video where I talked about, how to be able to find a significant partner. When you have a good friend foundation, meaning that you guys both genuinely know each other, having a strong communication with knowing each other's backgrounds, and just being able to have that intimacy on an intellectual level, it further surpasses anything physically, because of the fact you guys now have a connection that is far more bigger than just the physical aspect. And that's all great as well, having that aspect as well. But you can still be able to have a great, strong connection when you're ultimately and mentally involved with someone a certain type of way. So I don't discredit long distance relationships at all. In fact, I think they're a great way to fundamentally start a great, strong friendship, because ultimately, if you're going to be with someone any long period of time, friendship is definitely a great foundation to have if you want to have something sustainable for the long term. So these are just some of the things that I think, as far as when it comes down to long distance relationship, ultimately you have to have a good communication with your partner to make sure that you ultimately have communication as far as making sure that you guys are in touch with one another and seeing each other if you can as much as possible. Again, everybody's correlation of time and how they can meet is differently, so I can never gauge it based on what's enough amount of time to see a person when you're in long distance. Because hey, you may be in a situation where you're in long distance, and you may be in the military, or you may be out for work for a couple months, so it can be very strenuous and hard if you have someone who may be in a predicament where it's kind of out of their control and they have to do something for work. So again, if you have a great communication aspect of your relationship, I definitely will believe that it can help improve the quality dynamic of the relationship overall. Everything is definitely possible. I've seen this happen in more times, a few times actually in my lifetime, just talking with people who have been married successfully and happy. It does work when it comes down to two individuals that are very open and transparent with one another. If you don't have transparency in any relationship, then ultimately it's going to suffer long term. And so again, this is just my thoughts on long distance relationships. Again, if you like what I'm sharing about this subject and you want to learn more about relationship advice and things like that, then make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my other related videos. Make sure to check out my other video where I talked about how to find a significant partner. I think that's a really good video to kind of get a good foundation, especially if you're trying to find someone to share your life with. I think it's very important that you at least kind of get these 3 things down as far as making sure that you find the right person that's actually worth your time. And so again, this is just information that I've shared in real time with other people that I've talked to outside of the internet. And I just wanted to showcase this and share it with those of you that are watching and just searching around looking for the answer. I think if you got somebody that's a good person, you think that they're worthy enough of your time to be invested in, consider it all joy. You're learning something with being with that person, whether if it works out for the best or not. But ultimately, take all that you can from it, because the lesson behind it is priceless. You don't know the quality of tea until it's put in fire, and over time, you can only know that through putting in that time with the person that you think is worthy of your time. So we'll be talking more about this in different videos, but I didn't want to make this video too drawn out. So again, check out my other videos, as I will be sharing a nice catalog of different things that I've been sharing with people that have been helping them. And I hope that this stuff will help you guys as well. So again, Aquarius signing off. Check me out on my other videos and investing as far as being your best self, best health, in relationships, in money. I do talk about those different things as well. So see you guys very soon. God bless you. Peace.